We're back with another video, and this time the conversation is getting interesting. There's been a lot of chatter online, and Cardi B has finally decided to address her fans directly. What she shared has definitely caught people's attention and sparked mixed reactions. So, here's what's going on. Cardi B is reportedly preparing for a concert in Saudi Arabia. And while talking about her upcoming plans, she opened up about how she's been feeling lately. According to her, she doesn't really feel motivated to return to the United States right now. The reason? She feels like her work, her success, and her impact aren't truly appreciated there the way they should be. And honestly, this isn't a completely new feeling in the music industry. Many artists, especially those at the top of their game, have expressed similar emotions over the years. When you put your heart into your craft and constantly face criticism instead of support, it can take a toll. At some point, it starts to feel draining rather than rewarding. Cardi's message seems to come from that exact place. It's not just about locations or performances, it's about feeling valued and respected for what you bring to the table. When that appreciation feels stronger elsewhere, it makes sense why an artist might feel more comfortable performing abroad. Instead of guessing or assuming, though, let's hear it straight from her. Let's take a moment and listen closely to what Cardi B herself had to say.
It's luxurious, honey. I got my own little gym over here. I'm starting not to like America. America made me pay taxes. The vice president talking shit about me on Twitter. Like, I don't know. I don't feel appreciated on America. Y'all need to convince me to come back. Y'all gotta beg me to come back. It's very strict out here. Yeah, they will put you under the jail. They ain't playing around. Yeah, you will go to prison. Mess around and find out. Absolutely. There's no alcohol, but some of y'all don't have to be, some of y'all don't need to be drinking and having sex. Y'all need to repent. The kids know me, the little kids know me. It's like everybody know me, honey. The grown-ups know me. They treat me like I'm their queen, honey. Like they want me to be their queen or something. Like these people out here are very...
Now, when it comes to Cardi B, I'm honestly not sure if she fits into that queen category just yet. I mean, putting Cardi B and the word queen in the same sentence feels a little questionable to me. That's just my opinion. However, one thing I do believe is that she's probably being treated extremely well overseas, especially in places like Saudi Arabia. And this isn't something unique to her. If you look at major artists like Kendrick Lamar or Beyoncé, they've openly shown how much they enjoy touring outside the United States. They love performing overseas, and they often bring out special guests during those shows. Why? Because international fans show up differently. They're louder, more excited, and they genuinely celebrate the artists they love. In the US, on the other hand, appreciation can feel limited. A lot of artists don't feel fully supported at home, even when they've reached massive levels of success. That's why, when Queen Bey went to Paris, she went all out. She brought surprise guests, delivered unforgettable moments, and gave fans an entire experience. She didn't do any of that back in the US, and the question is, why not? Because she didn't feel that same level of appreciation from American audiences. That right there says a lot. When artists feel more love and respect abroad, it naturally shifts where they feel most comfortable performing and expressing themselves. So, yes, I completely understand why many artists might feel a stronger connection to overseas fans compared to fans in the US. The energy is different, the support is louder, the appreciation feels real. That part makes total sense to me. But still, I can't help but pause at the idea of Cardi B being mentioned in the same breath as a queen like Beyoncé. That comparison alone is definitely interesting, and not everyone is going to agree with it. Now, shifting away from that topic, there's another situation that's catching a lot of attention. Stefon Diggs is back in the spotlight once again, and not for the best reasons. With Cardi B currently overseas, reports are coming out that he's been seen with KJ, the woman who has allegedly claimed that she shares twins with Stefon Diggs. From what's being said, she has 2 children with him. There's also been some confusion around whether she was still pregnant or if she has already given birth, but allegedly, she has. Either way, the timing of all this is what really stands out. Cardi B is out of the country, focused on her career and international appearances, and suddenly this situation surfaces. That alone makes everything feel a little too coincidental. I can't lie, it's extremely interesting. The fact that all of this is happening while Cardi is overseas raises eyebrows. It makes people question intentions, priorities, and what's really going on behind the scenes. And I'm curious how everyone else feels about it too, because this situation doesn't look good from the outside. Now, when it comes to Cardi B specifically, this is something I've said many times before, and it's honestly not meant as shade. I've always felt that Cardi B tends to be very male-centered. It seems like she views Stefon Diggs as an upgrade, but mainly because of his financial status compared to her past relationship. Money alone, though, doesn't automatically make someone a better partner. When you look at relationship behavior, that's where the real upgrade should be measured. And based on patterns, I don't see that here. It feels like he's going to continue having children with other women outside of Cardi B, and that's a serious issue if someone is looking for stability and commitment. Again, no disrespect intended, but Cardi has a history of overlooking red flags. She did it for a long time in her previous relationship, and it looks like the same cycle could repeat itself here. There's a level of denial that comes with emotional attachment, and that can make people ignore reality, even when it's right in front of them. And honestly, this isn't just about Cardi B. I feel like a lot of female rappers struggle with being truly single. There's a heavy sense of emotional dependency, where being alone doesn't feel like an option. Instead of choosing peace, they stay tied to situations that don't fully serve them. And that's something worth talking about. Now, moving forward, there's another rumor circulating online that people have been talking about nonstop. According to an alleged blind item, ASAP Rocky is supposedly cheating on Rihanna. And honestly, just hearing that out loud sounds wild, because being embarrassed over a boyfriend is never a good look, especially at that level of fame. If you really think about it, though, this isn't the first time rumors like this have surfaced. A few years back, there were whispers coming from fashion insiders, stylists, and even well-known figures in the industry claiming that ASAP Rocky wasn't being faithful to Rihanna. Those conversations have been floating around for a long time now. If anyone wants deeper details, that's a whole separate discussion. But let's stay focused on the bigger picture here. The real question is, does it even matter whether the rumor is true or not? Personally, I don't think it changes much. Based on Rihanna's past, I honestly can't see her walking away easily, even if something like this were confirmed. Her history shows that she doesn't leave relationships at the first sign of betrayal. Let's be very clear. When she was with Chris Brown and he cheated on her and abused her, she didn't leave immediately. She stepped away later, after the Grammy incident, and even then, they eventually found their way back to each other. That alone tells you a lot about how she operates emotionally in relationships. Now fast forward to today. Rihanna and ASAP Rocky share children together. They've been together for years, built a family, and created a life that's deeply connected. Walking away from something like that isn't simple, especially when kids are involved. Realistically, I don't see her leaving unless something extremely public and humiliating happened. The only scenario where I could imagine a breakup is if he had a child with another woman. That kind of situation crosses a different line entirely. At that point, it's not just betrayal, it's public embarrassment. But do I think he would do something that reckless? Honestly, no. I don't believe he's that careless. Could he step out quietly? Possibly. A lot of men in the industry move in ways where they think they're being smart and discreet. They make sure things don't turn into permanent consequences. That's just the reality of how the industry works, whether people want to admit it or not. So, when people ask why this rumor is even a big deal, I kind of agree with that question. If cheating rumors surface but nothing changes, then what's really the story? Is she going to leave? Probably not. Beyoncé stayed. Many women stay, especially when children are part of the equation. That's why I don't fully understand why this is being treated as major tea. If the outcome is the same regardless, then what are we really reacting to? Now listen, this situation right here is getting absolutely out of control. I honestly had to pause for a second because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Things have officially crossed into a new level of chaos. So here's what happened. NickiMinaj recently called out Gavin Newsom, and not long after that, he posted a video on TikTok that instantly raised eyebrows. In the video, he used a clip of the Orange Grinch while Megan Thee Stallion's Piss was playing in the background. And as we all know, that song is widely seen as a diss toward Nicki Minaj. On top of that, he specifically used the Megan Law part, which many people believe was directly aimed at Nicki. And let's be real, that's wild. We've officially entered a moment where politicians are indirectly throwing shots at rappers. That's not something you see every day. Even though it feels like the video was more focused on shading the orange Grinch, the choice of that particular song is extremely telling. Out of all the songs he could have used, that is the one his team went with. Now, do I think Gavin Newsom personally sat there and said, "Yeah, let me diss Nicki Minaj today"? Probably not. But I do believe his team knew exactly what they were doing. They likely understood the cultural context behind the song and how it connects back to Nicki. That makes the whole situation even messier. And that's really the theme here. Mess. This is starting to look worse than the usual rap beefs we're used to seeing. At this point, everybody seems to be picking a side, and the tension is only getting thicker. Politics, music, social media, it's all colliding in the most chaotic way possible. Honestly, I don't even know what 2026 is going to look like, but if things keep going like this, it's going to be a complete disaster. You can already feel the mess spilling over, and we're not even at the peak yet. If you want the real breakdown of why Nicki Minaj originally called out Gavin Newsom, that's a deeper conversation. And yes, that's on Patreon. The link will be in the description. But still, wow. I never thought I'd see the day where multiple politicians are indirectly shading artists online. We already know JD Vance and Trump throw shots at anyone who doesn't like them, so that part isn't shocking. But now, seeing Gavin Newsom shade both the Orange Grinch and Nicki Minaj in the same moment, yeah, this is getting real ugly, real fast. Now, moving past all of that, let's talk about touring numbers, because this is another topic people are debating heavily online. SZA's tour with Kung Fu Kenny has officially been labeled as the second highest grossing tour by a female artist in 2025. The only tour ahead of it is Queen Bey's Cowboy Carter tour, which reportedly brought in around $48 million. I already know people have opinions on this, so feel free to share how you feel. Personally, though, I don't really think this comparison fully makes sense. And before anyone gets upset, let me be clear. I like SZA. I actually went to the Kendrick Lamar and SZA tour myself. Kendrick absolutely delivered and dominated that stage. As for SZA, she looked amazing. Beautiful gowns, beautiful hair, the wig was flawless, all of that. No arguments there. That being said, I don't think this touring stat should be framed the way it is. This was not a solo tour. This was a joint tour with Kendrick Lamar, who is a massive artist on his own. That changes the conversation. When you're splitting a tour, the draw, the sales, and the energy are shared. That's very different from carrying an entire tour by yourself. And that's where the Beyoncé comparison starts to fall apart for me. Beyoncé does solo stadium tours. No co-headliner, no opening act carrying half the weight. She comes out and holds an entire stadium on her own, night after night. That matters. In contrast, Kendrick Lamar and SZA had opening acts. DJ Mustard was involved, and overseas there were appearances tied to Schoolboy Q as well. Again, no shade. That's normal in the industry, but we have to be honest about what we're comparing. It's not the same setup. I enjoy all three artists. Kendrick Lamar is elite, SZA is talented and creative. Beyoncé is Beyoncé. But fairness matters. When it comes to stadium tours, there really isn't a black artist right now who can be fairly compared to Beyoncé, because everyone else brings someone along. Even when Beyoncé brings someone on stage, it's Blue Ivy. And she's not a star yet. She comes out for a few minutes, and that's it. That doesn't change the structure of the tour. Compare that to other artists. Chris Brown toured with Summer Walker and Bryson Tiller. Most major tours involve multiple big names sharing the spotlight. So when people try to stack these numbers side by side without context, it feels misleading. Beyoncé is doing this alone. No opening act, no co-headliner, just her. And that's why, in my opinion, the comparison doesn't really hold up. That's just how I see it. No hate, no shade, just keeping the conversation honest and fair. Now, switching gears once again, there's an update coming out of the Love Island world. It has officially been reported that Shelly and Ace from Season 7 have gone their separate ways. Fans who followed their journey are definitely reacting to the news, especially since many people were rooting for them to last. Shelly recently spoke out about the breakup in a statement shared with Page 6, and her words are what really have people talking. Breakups are never easy, especially when your relationship played out in front of millions, so it's understandable why this situation is getting so much attention. Instead of speculating or jumping to conclusions, let's hear directly from her. This is what Shelly had to say to Page 6.
Are we moving on?
So Ace and I actually decided to part ways.
Wait,
Yes.
oh my God, did you announce that?
No.
Oh my God, Shelly, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No, don't, it's okay. And
Are you-
please don't.
how,
Like, it's okay.
how are you feeling?
I mean, it really was a tough decision, like,
Yeah.
for the both of us, and like, very hard to decide. But, you know, when you love someone, sometimes loving someone means letting go. So I
Yes.
think we just got to that decision.
So, honestly, let me know how you all feel about this situation. Do you find it surprising? Or were you kind of expecting it too? Because for me personally, I can't say I'm shocked. He's only 22 years old, and at that age, most people are still figuring themselves out. Priorities change quickly, maturity is still developing, and long-term commitment doesn't always come naturally yet. When you look at it from that perspective, the breakup makes a lot more sense. She, on the other hand, is around 27 or 28. I believe she just turned 28. That's a different stage of life. At that point, many people are looking for more stability, emotional growth, and serious direction. Because of that, I honestly feel like she may be better off dating someone in their 30s, someone who's already grounded and ready for something real. So, yeah, I wasn't really surprised by the split, but I'm curious what everyone else thinks. Do you see them possibly finding their way back to each other, or do you think this chapter is officially closed? Let me know how you feel about the breakup and whether you think there's still a chance for them down the line. So, at the end of the day, this just shows how messy fame, relationships, and public opinion really are. Whether it's artists feeling unappreciated, celebrities repeating the same relationship patterns, or even politicians jumping into pop culture drama, everything is colliding at once. Everybody has opinions, everybody's choosing sides, and the internet is moving faster than ever. But the real question is, who's actually going to change and who's going to keep repeating the same cycles? Let me know your thoughts in the comments because this conversation is far from over. And trust me, it's only going to get messier from here.